You're listening to Straight from the Hat with Ben Vaughn.
Every day starts with a broken heart. I must be too sensitive for this world. Well, I know it ain't right to cry every night. I must be too sensitive for this world.
He's had a career filled with twists and turns as a performer, songwriter, composer for film and TV, and record producer. For Ben Vaughn, the best part of the journey has been the colorful characters he's encountered along the way. His friend Laura Pocadello, who works for Sun Records in Nashville, wrote the names of those characters down and placed them in a hat. Each episode, she'll select names at random and let Ben relive the stories. No pre-planning, no filter. Just telling it like it was. Straight from the hat.
Hello, Ben.
Hello, Laura. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm very excited to be here, but I was just in New York City, and I did something that I've been meaning to do pretty much my entire adult life, which is find the apartment building where Buddy Holly lived and recorded those infamous apartment tapes.
You found it?
I found it, and there's a video. We'll put it up on the website for this episode. Yeah, I found it, and it was really a spiritual experience. There are moments when you go to the place where something happened, and sometimes you don't feel anything. It's like, okay, here I am.
Yeah.
It happened here. And sometimes you really get that bolt of lightning hits you, and that happened. He was right in the village, right in Greenwich Village, only like a block away from Washington Square. And apparently he would go out to the jazz clubs and see some, he was part of the bohemian scene there.
That is a far cry from Lubbock, Texas, that's for sure.
It sure is. It sure is. Buddy, if he had lived, God only knows what he would have done. Man, that's the biggest question in the history of rock and roll, I think.
And that's probably the energy you felt there that day. That's really cool.
I did. I really felt it. It was intense. Anyway, the hat. What do we got?
What do we got? Who we got in here today? Let's find out. I'm going to dig in the hat here, pull a name. Oh, you're going to love this one. Frank Zappa.
Frank Zappa. Wow. Yes. I met Frank Zappa in 1970 on Mother's Day, actually.
What a good day to meet him.
I know. It was a Mother's Day concert in Philadelphia, 1970, and I went with my friend Dan. I was in a band with my friend Dan, and we were doing 50s rock and roll stuff. We were greasing our hair back. We were called the Derelicts. And we were inspired by the Reuben and the Jets album by Zappa. So we go to see Zappa. I was more of a Reuben and the Jets fan than I was a Frank Zappa fan. You're a fan of that record too, right?
I love that record. I mean, anyone who loves doo-wop should love that record. It's great.
Yeah, and it's not tongue-in-cheek. I mean, some of it is, maybe, but maybe...
it's still Frank Zappa, but it is pretty earnest. It's great.
Yeah, it might be the only record by him you can dance to, because none of those crazy time signature changes that he was known for are in there.
It is the most danceable, is what I'll say.
Yeah. So you have danced to Wowie Zowie, is that what you're telling me?
Yes, I have. It's possible.
I have cried to Any Way the Wind Blows, I'll tell you that much.
Same. Multiple versions of it, too.
A very serious song by Frank Zappa, a really great one. His heart is on his sleeve in that song. He had a side to him that didn't come out often, but it came out on Reuben and the Jets. And I was in love with that record. So we go to see Frank Zappa, Mother's Day, at the Academy of Music. And when the show was over, it was a great show, by the way. He had Ray Collins with him, and Bunk Gardner and Ian Underwood and Billy Mundy, that version of the band.
That's a good lineup.
Yeah, and when the show was over, my friend said, "We're going to go to the stage door and meet Frank." And I was like, "That's not going to happen." And he said, No, we're going to go meet him. So we go to the stage door, and this is a stage door I walk by every time I'm in Philly. It's crazy, but it's exactly the same, that stage door of the Academy of Music. And we're hanging out there, and all of a sudden Frank comes out with Ray Collins and a road manager. And my friend says,
Whoa.
Yeah, my friend Dan says, "Don't worry, I'll do all the talking." So Zappa comes out, and my friend starts talking, and then all of a sudden gets tongue-tied. He was starstruck. So I broke in and told him how much I love Reuben and the Jets, and that I love it because I'm a doo-wop fanatic, and I'm from the Philly area, and doo-wop is king. And that record really, really worked for me in a very deep way. And he stopped and gave us all the time in the world. It was amazing. He was so nice. And it came at a great time, too, because, I was like 15 years old. I had long hair, and I was being harassed by jocks, and everybody was telling me that I was a weirdo. And here is maybe the most famous, weird public figure.
You're the weirdest person possible, yeah.
Anointing me. He legitimized me. And then he asked me, so you're from this area, where can I find a record store that has a bunch of really great Philly doo-wop? And so we gave him directions to 10th and Chestnut to the Record Museum, and his road manager wrote it down, and then we said goodbye. And the only regret I have is that I did not cut school the next day and go down there at 10 a.m. when they opened to see if Frank Zappa was there.
You didn't?
I did not.
You told him where to go, and then you just said, have a great time.
Yeah.
You could have gone doo-wop shopping with Frank Zappa.
And if I had, he would have found some records he did not know existed, because there is such a thing as mid-'60s doo-wop. And you and I have had conversations about this. I'm kind of fanatical about it because the way that music history is taught or spoken of or, communicated, doo-wop died right before the Beatles came out, or it was definitely dead after the Beatles came out. And it's not true. It's not true. At least in Philly, doo-wop groups kept getting together. They were waiting for the whole Beatles and British invasion phenomenon to go away, and they kept going into the studio, and they kept getting backing, like a guy who owned a barbershop or something. I'll finance a 45. So, there's all these doo-wop groups. They would get together and go into the studio and cut records and release them, thinking that they were going to get a hit. It was almost
there were still people who believed in doo-wop.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, they didn't get the memo. They didn't get the memo. And it's almost like those Japanese soldiers that they found in the Philippines. Like 1973, I think they found a guy who did not know the war ended. He was still out there
fighting the good fight.
He was. And the doo-wop people in my neighborhood were doing that, in the Philly area. And some amazing records. I'm in Love with the Go-Go Girl by The Intentions is a really good one. The thing about mid-'60s doo-wop is the backing musicians are garage bands by that point. So the saxophone and the piano are gone, and it's electric guitars, bass, and drums. So it's a really great genre that most people do not know is a genre. And if Frank Zappa went to Record Museum the day after that gig, he would have found a bunch of those 45s.
What do you call that? Like doo-wop fusion?
I call it mid-'60s doo-wop in exile.
Yeah, but it's got to be something more fun than mid-'60s doo-wop. Like, describe it, Because I think it is fun that the backing track is totally different.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it is. I guess it's garage doo-wop. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. It is a thing, and anyone who is listening to this, I beseech you to go online and type in doo-wop plus 1964 or plus 1965 or 66. They even went up into like 1967. They were still putting these things out, like, Sgt. Pepper's coming out, and there are doo-wop groups in the Northeast still releasing records.
True believers.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my Frank Zappa story. He was really nice to me at a time when I really needed someone to validate how weird I was and that it was okay to be that weird.
And you met Ray Collins.
Yeah, a thrill. I know you love his voice. We've spoken about this before. There's a song on Reuben and the Jets called Anything that I think Ray wrote.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he wrote it before the Mothers existed, and it's a beautiful, beautiful vocal.
It's a beautiful song, too, and it's a really special moment on that record because you talk about how that record seems to be some of Zappa's most earnest work, and that is Ray Collins' most earnest contribution to that record. It's beautiful.
Yeah, there's no irony in that at all.
No.
Yeah. Reuben and the Jets. Check it out.
Thank you. 'Cause
off to the hat. I'm going to pull out a slip of paper here. I wrote these so long ago that I don't even really remember who's left in here, but there's quite a few names. So let's see who this next name is. Ooh, I don't know where this is going to go. Sandy Denny.
Sandy Denny. The great, great Sandy Denny. One of the best singing voices ever. And
All time. Yeah.
And who knows where the time goes. That song, every time I hear her version of that, really, I don't know where the time goes because I go into a vortex. I mean, it's just there's something about that tune and her voice. Well, I do have a Sandy Denny. I met her.
Did you really?
Yeah, I actually met her. She was booked to play a show in South Jersey at a college in 1974 on a bill with Bruce Springsteen.
Ooh.
And I couldn't believe my good luck. I'm going to see Fairport Convention and Bruce Springsteen together.
Yeah, that's huge.
So we get to the venue, and there's a sign on the door that said, Bruce Springsteen has canceled. Fairport Convention will still be playing. And I'm like, okay. I love Fairport Convention. I can't believe that they're here in New Jersey, right? You know. And Richard Thompson wasn't with him anymore. I forget the guitar player's name. Amazing guitar player. Jerry Donahue, I think. And very few people were there because Bruce canceled. When Bruce cancels in South Jersey, people lose interest in that evening, you know?
Yeah, yeah. They canceled their whole life that evening. They're like, we don't have anything to do now.
Yeah, the word must have gotten out beforehand because there was hardly anyone there. And it's in a gymnasium at a college. And Sandy Denny, a person who, if you've read about her, did not suffer fools, right? She said what was on her mind, and she was a tough broad, so to speak. You know, she was really a pretty awesome individualist, and she could not resist between every song making Bruce Springsteen jokes. It was really funny. She goes, "Well, here's another song that's not by Bruce Springsteen," you know. And she was apparently really miffed about it, but they were great. And so I saw her perform Who Knows Where the Time Goes live with Fairport.
Whoa.
And I have to say that I forgot all about Bruce in that moment. Incredible. And then afterwards I met her briefly, you know, and she was nice to me, but she was not happy to be there. You know, she was, well, maybe not. That's maybe too extreme. She was bugged because there was hardly anybody there, you know.
Yeah.
And
it's nothing she did, you know.
Yeah, and she's far away from home in New Jersey and, small crowd. So
I think, yeah, just in New Jersey in general, she probably was just reacting normally.
Just a second. You know I'm from New Jersey, right?
Really? You haven't mentioned it.
Well, I don't have to because you can tell. Hello. But speaking of which, the funny thing about Fairport Convention and all of those British traditional folk rock groups, I guess is what that genre is. They call it psych folk now, I think. A lot of people in Philly love that stuff because we had the Philadelphia Folk Festival and big folk scene in Philly. So there were a lot of local bands who would play songs by, what's the name of that band? I was going to say Molly Hatchet, but it's not Molly Hatchet because they're Southern rock. What is it? You know who I mean. Matty Pryor is the singer. Steel Ice Band. And there were a few other groups like that. And in Philly, there were bar bands who took it upon themselves to do traditional British folk rock or Irish folk rock. But in between every song, they would announce it like, okay, here's another song. This goes back to the Gaelic tradition of whatever, you know, because the accent. And then all of a sudden they're singing in a completely Anglo accent. It was really, really funny. So Sandy Denny brought me much joy through that process as well as her own work. Yes, Sandy Denny.
Back to the hat. Let's see what comes out next.
The hat. Drum roll.
The hat.
Yes.
It's still, we get this question a bit. People ask, are there still names in the hat? Because we've pulled so many names. There's so many names still in here.
I know. It's amazing. We're going to be doing this until, I was going to say until the cows come. Hey, what happens when the cows do come home?
I don't know. Is that good or bad?
Because all that stuff that we were going to do all night long, we don't do now? Is that the deal? Like, what happens?
Yeah. What happens? How do the cows tie into this? I have no idea.
Yeah.
All I know, I'm going to pull a new name. You ready?
Yes.
Oh, kind of about cows, actually. Legendary Stardust Cowboy.
Wow. See that? That's that synchronicity, man. Cow and cowboy. Yeah. Wow. Where to start?
I don't know.
With the Legendary Stardust Cowboy. Well, first of all, Ziggy Stardust allegedly came from Bowie being inspired by the Legendary Stardust Cowboy.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a story that Bowie's earlier records came out on Mercury in America, and he was visiting their office, and they said, take anything you want, and he found a couple 45s by the Legendary Stardust Cowboy, and he picked them up just because they looked cool and the name was weird. And in 1968, a 45 came out called Paralyzed by the Legendary Stardust Cowboy that was produced by a young T-Bone Burnett. And T-Bone Burnett plays drums on it. Was recorded in Fort Worth, Texas, and it is a masterpiece of psychotic music making. And I use the word music loosely in this case. There's a drum solo and a bugle solo and almost incomprehensible lyrics. An amazing record. The Legendary Stardust Cowboy released it on his own label called Psycho Suave Records. This guy is really ahead of his time because you would kill for a name like that now, right?
Yeah.
Like a hip boutique label, Psycho Suave. Dude, that's it. Well, he did it in 1968. 500 copies, and it went out of print, and Mercury picked it up and released it, and he ended up on Laugh-In, appearing on Laugh-In, doing Paralyzed, and was on his way to stardom, except that he was really too weird for stardom, and kind of disappeared. His real name is Norman Odom, I think, Norman Odom, and he ended up moving to Las Vegas and was bussing tables at one of the casinos there.
Okay.
And this guy, Jim Yanaway, in Austin, Texas, he had a label called Amazing Records, and their motto was, if it's a hit, it's amazing.
That's another great label name.
Yeah, and he convinced the Ledge, as he's known, Legendary Stardust Cowboy, to go back in the studio and record a record, and he did, and it came out in the early 80s. And to promote it, he contacted Todd Abramson, who is now known for his Toddophonic Todd radio show on WFMU, but back then he was booking Folk City, and I think Maxwell's back then. He contacted Todd, and Todd booked the Ledge to play at Folk City in New York City. I'm thinking it'd be like 1985. And he needed to put a band together for it, so he got two members of the Raunch Hands, who were very popular in New York at the time. One guy from the A-Bones and me. And he brought me in to play guitar and trombone.
Oh.
Yes.
Is that something that you do?
I do play trombone by ear. I can't read music, but I do. I really like trombone. It's kind of like the slide guitar of horns, you know.
Totally. Yeah.
And you
Same
have to have a pretty good ear to play it because there are no valves, so you have to kind of by eye and by ear figure out where your notes are. It's a great instrument. And I play it okay. I can play the blues on it, basically.
That's all you need, just like the harmonica.
Yes. So I came in, I went up to New York City for rehearsals. Jim Yanaway shows up at the rehearsal space with Norman, and Norman is decked out in the full Western regalia.
Like, what does that mean to you, though? Is that like a pearl snap shirt, or are we talking rhinestones?
10-gallon hat, chaps.
Oh, okay. Functional wear.
Yeah. String tie. The whole thing.
Bolo tie?
Yeah, that's what you call it. Yeah.
String tie?
I'm from New Jersey. I don't know what you call that stuff.
Yeah, it's fine.
So they come into the rehearsal space, and Jim Yanaway is doing all the talking. He says, okay, what's going to happen here is you guys play Ghost Riders in the Sky, and Norman's going to come out like hooping and hollering and shooting off his pistols, except we don't have the pistols because somebody stole them at the airport. We're like, okay. So we rehearse with Norman, we do Ghost Riders, and then we go right into Paralyzed, and then we basically perform the whole new album. And it sounded pretty good. So afterwards, we went out to eat. This is one of those weird things where you find yourself watching an event on TV with the weirdest person. So this was the Grammy Awards, 1985 Grammy Awards. So you're talking like Huey Lewis in the News and Cyndi Lauper and all those people. And I'm sitting there with the legendary Stardust Cowboy.
Can we pause for a second? Because I feel like that is a sub-theme of Straight from the Hat. There are many episodes where you discuss watching important things happening on TV with very strange people, and it's happening again.
Yeah, that happens to me. That doesn't happen to everybody?
I don't think so.
That's interesting, because it definitely happens to me. Charlie Feathers with the Clarence Thomas hearings and the Rodney King footage, and Arthur Alexander, too. We watched a 1992 presidential debate together, and all he said was, they're doing that thing they do every 4 years. They're doing it again. That was his take on it. But anyway, so we're watching the Grammys with the legendary Stardust Cowboy, and he lives in Vegas. So I asked him, do you go see the live acts? And he goes, oh, yeah. And the best one by far is Hamilton, Joe Frank, and Reynolds.
What?
And I just accepted that as truth. I never saw them.
It's his favorite.
Yeah. I can't argue because I've never seen them live. So, he might be right. He might have been right. So we finished dinner, and we walked all around New York City with him because he had never been in New York City before, It was almost like Midnight Cowboy or something. He was looking around in amazement. And we took him to the Empire State Building and showed him that. It was at night.
That's the same. You pulled the same move you did with Hazel Adkins then.
Yeah, except it was night and we couldn't get up to the observation deck. But yeah. So the next night is the gig, and we do a sound check. And every time at the sound check, Norman kept wanting to sound check his bugle. And he would walk up to the microphone without warning anyone and just blast. And the sound man's like, jumping, trying to get all the faders down. And so we sound check, and the band goes out to eat, and I decide to stick around, and the Ledge is like, hey, they left. Where'd they go? I said, they just went out to eat. And he goes, they're going to come back, right? And I go, yeah. And he goes, are you sure? Are you sure they're going to come back? They left. And I was like, I'm sure they're going to come back. And so we do the gig. We kick into Ghost Riders in the Sky, and the Ledge comes running out, kicking his feet way up in the air, really dressed to the nines, goes into Paralyzed, and we do the record, and the audience is like, they can't believe what they're seeing. I mean, this guy is, and he was playing, he had an acoustic guitar, and he was playing a G chord on every song, no matter what key it was in.
Why not?
Yeah. The crowd goes berserk, and before the show, he drew on these paper plates original artwork on like 20 paper plates and signed them. And so he starts tossing them out to the audience during the last song. And then he gets this dazed look in his eyes.
Wait, what did he draw? Like, is that part of his bit?
Yeah. I can't remember what they were. Palmyra Del Rey has one. She was also, unfortunately, sitting in the front row when he decided to disrobe.
Oh, she earned her paper plate that night.
Yeah, she's still traumatized.
That was very brave of you, Palmyra.
Yeah, because all of a sudden he got this dazed look in his eyes and started ripping his clothes off, and he's down to his underwear, cowboy hat and underwear and nothing else. And Jim Yanaway comes out and escorts him off stage. And we're playing Ghost Riders in the Sky while this happens. And the audience wants more. They want more. So he comes back out, and we do Paralyzed again.
Did he put pants on to come back out, or still naked cowboy mode?
No, he had some clothes on, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The Legendary Stardust Cowboy. And I think Bowie recorded one of his songs, actually. What's it called? I Took a Trip on a Gemini Spaceship, I think. I think he
That sounds like a Bowie song, too.
Yeah, I think he cut one of his songs. But there's a documentary being filmed right now about him, directed by Jeff Fjorzig, the guy who did the Daniel Johnson documentary.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
And I think it's partially animated, too. It's going to be a really interesting film. I think that's still in production.
That's great.
Yeah, Legendary Stardust Cowboy.
I'm pulling from the hat. There's so many names still left in here, all on these little slips of paper.
I'd like to remind the audience again that this is a Mel Tillis trucker's hat. To give you a proper Technicolor visual, it's blue, right?
Bright blue.
Yeah.
Bright blue. It says Mel Tillis in his big logo. It's great. I've actually worn it many times. It has a whole new function now, though, with all these names in it. All right, you ready for this one?
I am.
Rosco Gordon.
Rosco Gordon. That's in the hat. Wow.
That's in the hat.
Oh, I must have told you about that then.
You did.
I didn't write that one down and throw it in. Wow. Rosco Gordon, Sun Records.
That's right.
Where you work, Sam Phillips was smart enough to sign Rosco and put him in the studio and made some really cool records. And then he went over to VJ Records, I believe, in the 60s and made some cool records. But Rosco Gordon had this piano rhythm where you emphasize the up in between the notes, like so you get the one end. So it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So he's emphasizing the end in between the 1, 2, 3, 4. So was Wilbert Harrison. A few other people in R&B at that time were messing around with that rhythm, and it became really popular in Jamaica. And ska is based on those Rosco Gordon records.
That's so wild.
Yeah, and he was really big down there. Made a bunch of really cool records, disappeared for quite a while, and a record label in Canada called Stony Plain contacted me, and they said that they were in contact with Rosco Gordon, and they wanted to record a new record, and they wanted me to produce it, because I had just come off doing the Arthur Alexander comeback record, and that was getting a lot of attention, and everybody liked the approach that I used for that record. So this
would have been like the 90s?
Yeah, 93, 94, around there somewhere. And they put me in touch with Rosco. So I called Rosco Gordon, and we were talking, and I got the idea that what would really be cool would for me to be able to find the scatolites, or scatolites. I never understood how to pronounce that, because ska is pronounced ska. So scatolites.
I don't know.
They were a really, really popular Jamaican ska band, studio musicians and everything. Tommy McCook, all those guys. A few of them had moved to Brooklyn, and I thought, wow, putting Rosco Gordon, the guy that kind of invented, or didn't invent, but inspired that genre, to put them together in the studio and make I don't even know what would you call that kind of record? An origin meets the
inspiration, meets I have no idea, but that's such a cool idea.
I thought it was a great idea. And I found Tommy McCook's number, and I called him, and I couldn't understand a word he was saying. Yaman, like I really could not understand him. I had a few conversations with him. He was down for it, and I called Rosco Gordon, and I had a lot of long conversations with Rosco. He was really, really funny, and he now was playing guitar, and he would call me up and say, "Hey man, check out how good I'm getting on guitar," and he would just play it for me, And I'm like, okay, this is when long distance calls meant something. And I would say, okay, well, he's calling me, so I'll listen. But if I called him and he pulled out his guitar, I would say, I got to go. And so I had all these long conversations with him, and he would tune his guitar, too, on the phone for like 5 minutes straight. Because let me get this straight here. And he would make me wait, and then he would sing and play, and it was amazing because he was Rosco Gordon,
Right.
And if any of the listeners are not familiar with Rosco Gordon, my favorite record by him is called Just a Little Bit. I don't want it all. I just want a little bit. Really, really great record. His vocal on that. So Rosco Gordon is singing to me over the phone. So my life was really rich, without even making a record. And so we're getting ready to make this record, and I'm booking studio time in New York. And all of a sudden, Stony Plain calls me and says, we can't do it. We're not going to do it. I go, why? And he goes, because it turns out that Rosco has signed record deals with 3 other labels. Simultaneous exclusive deals with 3 labels without telling
Classic mix-up.
Yeah, he kind of did that Leadbelly thing where there's a story that when Leadbelly wrote Goodnight Irene, he and Woody Guthrie went around and sold it to every publisher in New York City.
Yeah.
Rosco Gordon was doing that. So we never made the record. But, wow, Rosco Gordon and the stuff he cut for Sun. There's one song, I think it was for Sun, called Let's Get High.
Oh, yeah, that's his one of his best songs on Sun. There's so many good ones, too. There's actually, I'm partial to one just called Cheese and Crackers. He's also...
Yeah, that's a good one.
He was also known for his pet rooster that he would bring around too. And there's this great photo of him with Sam Phillips with his rooster. And if I recall, I believe the rooster liked to drink.
Well, now everyone listening knows that you really do work at Sun Records if that's part of your day, learning that stuff.
Yeah, I have to know these things. It's part of my day-to-day.
And the logo, is that a rooster?
It's a rooster.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's greeting the sun. That's why Rosco had the rooster, at least part of it, I think.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, but Rosco Gordon, I almost made a record with him, but I had a great time not making a record with him, so it's cool.
There you go. Well, it's song time again, Ben.
I love ending this sequence with a song because it reminds me of the Richard Diamond old-time radio show featuring Dick Powell, because Dick Powell started out as a singer before he became an actor, and at the end of each episode, he was, not every episode, but most, he would sing, and he had a great voice. So this is a tradition that I not only approve of, but I'm proud and I'm honored to now be part of. Yes.
I think that makes you a torchbearer of sorts.
Or a torch singer. Yeah, either one.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Either way.
So what do we have in the hat?
You ready for this one?
Maybe.
Big House with a Yard.
Ooh, Big House with a Yard. I wrote this song for Johnny Cash. Not that he ever heard it or anything, but I wrote it for him. Yeah. I imagine him doing it. Inspired by The Sting 2.
Ah.
The one with Mac Davis. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
There's a scene there where they hop in a cab and they give the cab driver an address, and when they get to the address, it's a prison. And Mac Davis said, well, he did say it was a big house with a yard. And I thought, there's my prison song. But this is a very serious song. That was the inspiration for it, which is kind of weird, but the song itself is pretty serious, and it goes like this right here.
Late at night, I know she pines for me, but I'm not free to calm her beating heart. I write a letter and hand it to the guard. She can answer me, care of a big house with a yard. Please, 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 Ramona, please say you'll wait for me. I don't know what I would do without your love so true. The lights are out, but sleep it just won't come till my time is done in this big house with a yard. Please, 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 Ramona, please say you'll wait for me. I don't know what I would do without your love so true. Late at night, I know she pines for me, but I'm not free to calm her beating heart in this big house with a yard, in this big house with a yard. Oh no.
You have just enjoyed another installment of Straight from the Hat with Ben Vaughn. To learn more about the names drawn from the hat for this episode, please visit straightfromthehat.com. Don't forget to tell a friend about this podcast. And please, subscribe to the show on your podcast platform of choice.